Coming up on Network Africa, Sudan's Rapid Support Forces leader Mohamed Dagalo leads inaugural meeting of the Presidential Council after his swearing-in on Sunday. Finnish court sentences Nigeria's Simon Ekpa to 6 years in prison for terrorism crimes. Plus, the UN High Commissioner for Refugees concludes a week-long visit to the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda, urging greater international support for peace in the region. Hello and welcome to the program this week. I'm Layo Olarinde. Well, let's begin with stories and happenings that made headlines over the weekend.
On Saturday, Commander of the Rapid Support Forces Dagalo was sworn in as the head of Sudan's Presidential Council and issued a decree appointing his Prime Minister. He underlined his commitment to preserving national sovereignty and fostering unity, while reaffirming his commitment to upholding and safeguarding the transitional constitution. Following the RSF leader's swearing in on Saturday, Mohamed Al-Tashi was then sworn in on Sunday as Prime Minister of the Presidential Council in the Sudanese city of Nyala, before the President of the Council, Mohamed Dagalo. During his oath-taking, Mr. Al-Shati says he's committed to strengthening the foundation of a secular, democratic, pluralistic and decentralized system of governance and to uphold the dignity of the Sudanese people.
30 août 2023.
Gabon President Oligui Nguema pledged to boost the development of the national economy, turning the country from exporter to a producer. President Nguema made this commitment while addressing the nation on Saturday night in Chigabanka city of Inyago province. The Gabon leader spoke about the nation's security, unveiling plans to strengthen it through increased funding. The president's statement comes as the country marks 2-year anniversary of former President Ali Bongo's removal from office. On Sunday, hundreds of protesters marched through the rain in Dakar during the Justice for Martyrs rally, demanding accountability for those killed protesting since 2021. During the year's political unrest, activists taking part in the rally directed criticism towards President Bassirou Diomaye Faye and Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko, who rose to power after years of opposition protest. According to reports, at least 66 people died during demonstrations from 2021 to 2024, supporting Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko and opposing former President Macky Sall, with no trials for bloodshed and torture committed during his time. Members of the trade union, civil society groups and youth organizations marched through Accra in Pan-African rally, calling for debt cancellation and a fairer global trade system. Protesters demanding an end to what they describe as an unjust world economic system that forces African government to spend more on debt servicing than on healthcare and education. Chief Executive of Pan-African Lawyers Union, Donald Deye, condemned Africa's debt as a continuation of colonization and a crime against Africa, stressing that any relief must go to schools, to hospitals, to better infrastructure, to industry, and therefore to jobs, dignity of life. Ghanaian Finance Minister Kasil Atto-Forson argued that debt restructuring should also apply to multilateral organizations or institutions. Campaigners further urged full implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area to strengthen intra-African trade and create decent jobs.
To our main stories for today, in Sudan, the Presidential Council of the Parallel Government has held its inaugural meeting in Nyala, and it was chaired by the newly sworn-in Rapid Support Forces leader, Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, with all members in attendance. According to Deputy Head Abdelaziz Al-Hilu, the session focused on a roadmap for the Council's work, strategic planning, completing governance structures, and addressing ongoing political and economic challenges. The Sudan Founding Alliance, which brings together the rapid support forces, armed movements, political parties, and civil forces, was established in February. In July, it announced the formation of a parallel transitional peace government led by RSF chief Mohamed Dagalo. Well, the army-appointed government's foreign ministry has denounced this alliance announcement and is urging countries and institutions not to recognize its legitimacy. A court in Finland has sentenced Simon Ekpa, pro-Biafra agitator, to 6 years in prison for terrorism offences. In a ruling delivered on Monday, the court found Ekpa guilty of inciting terrorism and participating in the activities of a terrorist group using his significant social media following to stoke tensions in Nigeria's southeast region between August 2021 and November 2024. In a unanimous ruling by the Pajatham District Court, the three-member panel of judges also stated that Ekpa had supplied certain groups with weapons, explosives and ammunition through his network of contacts in the region, and he was also found to have encouraged his followers on social media platform X to commit crimes in Nigeria. The court also convicted Ekpa of aggravated tax fraud and violating the provisions of the Attorneys Act. Meanwhile, Nigeria's Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, on his X handle, welcomes the news of Simon Ekpa's conviction by a Finland court for terrorism-related crimes and his sentencing to 6 years in prison. He describes it as a major victory for the Nigerian people in the collective fight against terror. Namibia's President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah has condoled with the families of over 15 people who were killed in a road accident in the capital, Windhoek. Writing on his social media page, President Ndaitwah says no words can truly capture the depth of this loss, praising the souls of the fallen officers. Well, on Saturday, a head-on collision involving vehicles belonging to the security services killed 16 people. The accident took place 270 kilometers south of the capital, outside the town of Marienthal. Namibia's Ministry of Home Affairs initially put the death toll at 14, but in an update on Sunday said that this had now risen as a police officer and prison officer had died of their injuries after being taken to hospital. The police van had been carrying 6 passengers, 5 officers and a civilian, and the Namibian Correctional Service had 13 people on board. Well, Namibia is known to have one of the highest road traffic fatality rates in the world. We're here in Nigeria now. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has sponsored free open-heart surgeries to vulnerable patients at the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital in Kano State. The medical mission, facilitated by the King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center, covered the entire cost of surgeries that would have otherwise cost patients thousands of dollars. Our correspondent, Sadiq Ilyasu, reports.
Inside the operating theatres of Amin Kano Teaching Hospital, life-saving surgeries are underway, completely free of charge. This is the second time the King Salman Foundation from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is partnering with the hospital to conduct open-heart surgeries for needy patients.
This is our second trip in 2 years to help the patients in need. This is a very big hospital with general surgery, but there are no cardiac surgery here except the surgeries that we executed in our mission last 2 years ago, and this is the second mission, which has been also successful as the one in 2023.
The 25-member team of surgeons, cardiologists, and medical staff flew into Kano with specialized equipment to carry out the complex procedures.
I thank Almighty Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for giving the Saudi people the courage and the generosity and the good heart to come over and help their brothers and sisters suffering from this disease in Nigeria who cannot afford to have it done, either here or overseas. They have saved our lives.
This surgery is not for the poor. And if you say you are going out to do it on your own, you have to spend a lot of millions of naira, which nobody can afford, only few can afford it. So we only pray to God to reward them abundantly.
I heard of it 2 years ago. I tried. I wanted to come. He said, Mama, have patience, maybe your time is not yet. I said, Alpha, you should have come for the screening. I said, I didn't know. I've heard later when they have already left. But I pray to God, if I wish to have the operation from them, they will come back one day. Then he said that they said they will come back and say maybe in a year or two. I said, may Allah make it true. And this time when around, I came. You people came. And I was chosen for that operation. So I'm grateful to Allah for that.
Beyond the surgeries, the mission also focused on capacity building. Young doctors at the hospital receive hands-on training from the visiting team. As patients recover with hope restored, the initiative stands as a symbol of global health solidarity and the power of humanitarian diplomacy. Sadiq Ilyasu, Channels Television News.
In South Sudan since 2021, when recurrent intercommunal violence in the Great Tambura region of the country's western equatorial state escalated, numerous lives have been lost and thousands of people have fled their homes, with terrified civilians hid in bushes, running away to neighboring countries, or even sought shelter in one of the several camps for internally displaced persons. To better protect them, UN peacekeepers serving with the United Nations mission in South Sudan, UNMISS, have increased their presence and intensified vehicle patrols, navigating treacherous rain-soaked routes day and night. We're visiting the several camps for the displaced on foot. The Blue Helmets are engaging with different ethnic communities who currently stay there.
This signifies a lot because we have a lot of resources and positioning ourselves in that new TOD to do more patrols on the ground and to do more engagement and to facilitate peace mediation and peace processes on the ground.
The UN High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, has concluded a week-long visit to the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Rwanda. He's urging greater international support for peace in the region and humanitarian efforts. So, according to him, refugees and internally displaced people can choose to return home safely to rebuild their lives. In Sake, a town 60 kilometers from Goma in the DRC, Mr. Grandi spoke with people who have been forced to flee violence on multiple occasions about their hopes and stability and the immense challenges they face in rebuilding their lives. He also met humanitarian partners and the de facto authorities.
Negotiations. There is a little hope now with the peace talks in the United States and in Doha, creating hopefully a better political environment in which we can bring more easily help to these communities. But we cannot wait. People are hungry. Children cannot go to school. Sick people cannot be treated. So we're really appealing for urgently for assistance, humanitarian assistance to be delivered to try to alleviate at least a bit this very dramatic situation.
You're watching Network Africa on Channels Television. Still to come on the program. African women leaders are urged to forge cross-border collaborations for inclusive growth, and this was at the African Women Achievers Award in Johannesburg. Please join us again for more details. Welcome back to the program. We continue in Egypt, where 3 people have been killed and more than 100 injured in a train derailment in Matru. According to the Egyptian Ministry of Health, 7 carriages of train number 1935 traveling from Masra Matu to Alexandria came off the tracks between Fuka and Galal stations. 2 carriages overturned in the desert area. The Health Ministry later added that over 50 ambulances were dispatched and most of the injured have now been treated and discharged. The Minister for Transport, Kamel El-Wazir, visited the scene and ordered the formation of a technical committee to investigate the cause of the derailment. He emphasized that anyone found responsible would face immediate dismissal. Well, it's time to strengthen cross-border collaborations among African women leaders that not only empower women, but also drive inclusive economic growth across the continent. That's the message from Dr. Mayor King's Temison Lewis, speaking at the 2025 African Women Achievers event that held over the weekend in Johannesburg, South Africa. It held under the theme, The Africa We Want, Shared Continental Advancement Through Positive Collaborations and Partnerships. The gathering brought together women from more than 30 African countries. Our South Africa correspondent, Innocent Samosa, has more.
Closing Women's Month on a high note, the 2025 African Women Achievers Summit brought together leaders from 30 nations under the banner of The Africa We Want. Women entrepreneurs across Africa struggle with limited access to credit, venture capital and investment opportunities due to gender bias in financial systems and collateral requirements. Dr. Mayo King's Temison Lewis says it's time to change the status quo.
It is time for us to set up an organization to celebrate and honor these African women, and that way it will further encourage more African women to be doing even more in the society. So that's essentially why we are celebrating these women, to push the agenda of women inclusiveness in the scheme of things in Africa.
I spoke with some women at the summit who highlighted the biggest systemic barriers African women still face in leadership, business and innovation.
We are fighting for equal rights in governance, equal rights in the corporate world, businesses. And there's been a high-level stigmatization about women. Women are supposed to be in the room, women are supposed to be in the kitchen, while the women are clamoring to be seen, to have a voice.
Challenges that are facing women in the continent, especially in a male-dominant industry. So it's very hard because now you have to prove yourself that you can, especially when delivering services, because when you're a woman now, they look at you as though they question your ability.
This is how they believe these challenges can be dismantled collectively.
As women, we need to really be strong and partner together, because naturally we've been given that talent or the gift of being able to multitask. So once we together, then we become more stronger together. So it's very important not to pull each other down.
Women has been a connector, strong force. If we're looking for one Africa, united Africa, you use women. And I believe that is the movement as we are now. The whole African women are here.
Adenei Ethetayo says women achievers must focus on mentorship, skills transfer, and creating opportunities for Africa's next generation.
They should play a role as a mentor. You know you have missed the opportunity. Pick up that girl, pick up that daughter, begin to mentor them when it comes to leadership, in business, in finance, in tech, in AI. Begin to tell them so that by the time they grow, they can continue or make it bigger or multiply whatever stage that you left behind.
As the summit wrapped up, one message stood clear. Empowering African women through collaboration and innovation is key to building the Africa we want. From Johannesburg, South Africa, Innocent Samos, Channels Television News.
Well, tens of thousands of fans filled the Moya International Sports Center in Nairobi as Morocco beat Madagascar 3-2 in the CHAN 2024 final, claiming their third African Nations Championship title. Well, the cheering crowds were seen during the award ceremony and celebrations after Morocco's star player Oussama Lamlaou scored 2 goals and won the Golden Boot. as the tournament's top scorer, while his teammate Rabi Mohammed was named best player of the tournament. Madagascar opened the scoring and later equalized in the second half before ultimately falling to Lamalou's decisive performance. Despite the loss, Madagascar was widely praised for reaching the final for the very first time. Meanwhile, many Kenyan fans used this occasion to, as an opportunity to call for Kenya to host the AFCON 2027 tournament after the successful hosting of CHAN 2024. Well, this tournament was jointly hosted across Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda, the first time the event has been held across 3 nations. And as we end the program for today, here's our fun fact about the continent. Did you know Kwa Falls, located in Cross River State, Nigeria, is one of the country's most breathtaking natural wonders? The falls cascade from a height of about 35 meters into a lush tropical valley, creating a misty, cool atmosphere perfect for nature lovers. It's surrounded by a dense rainforest that's part of the Cross River National Park, and it's one of the most biodiverse areas in Africa. To reach the bottom, you'll descend 234 concrete steps, a mini adventure before the reward of a refreshing swim. Kwa Falls is a top spot for ecotourism, photography, picnics and hiking. The area is also home to a variety of birds, butterflies and rare plant species. So if you're seeking serenity, adventure or just a beautiful escape, well, Kwa Falls is a hidden gem waiting to be explored. And that's it on the program for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Layo Olarinde.